Hello and welcome back to Black Dice Gaming. I'm James and today we're looking at another miniature. It's another Dungeons and Lasers model. Really fond of these models. My little puppy's just come to join us. Say hello to everyone. Here she is. She's slightly bigger than the dragon that I'm unboxing, but not by much. Anyway, back to the unboxing. Today we're going to be looking at the Wyvern. Or Wyvern, however you want to pronounce it. I think this could be an excellent model if you're wanting to mount an orc on top of it for the Old World, for the Warhammer The Old World. But yeah, we're going to get this unboxed and have a look at it and put it together, and we'll take it from there. So without further ado, let's look at the sprues. So here we are, a nice big chunky box. You can see quite a thick one, and online manual for putting it together. They come with that nowadays, which isn't too bad. You just make sure your phone's not set to lock after 30 seconds, because otherwise you're forever unlocking it. But here's a render. And down here we've got some pictures. So it's 140 millimeters tall, or 5.5 inches, so it's quite small compared to the other dragons, but we'll do a comparison. Obviously high quality. I'm not sure if this part is actually optional. If it is, I probably won't be using it, but we'll see. But it does have a customizable base, which is the first time I've seen this. It's on a 75 millimeter base. Now most dragons are on 50 mil bases. So that's, although the model itself is smaller, the base is bigger. Okay, we'll see how that works. I'm not entirely sure which one I'm going to do, which one I'm going to settle with, but I'm assuming whichever piece you don't do, you could still use as a piece of terrain for the battlefield. But we'll have a look. Anyway, let's get the box open. Get this cellophane off. There we go. So yeah, I was thinking with this model you could possibly mount an orc on there for Warhammer The Old World if you wanted a orc shaman on a wyvern, or an orc war boss on a wyvern. Should be possible. Okay, so 2 sprues, relatively chunky. The base is a lot bigger. So the first one is pretty much the base. So you've got the base here. That looks like could be a cannon, I think. That lots of rocks and some water just there. Then you've got the boat. 2 pieces for that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean it's sculptured on the inside, so once you put those together, if you're not using the boat, you could maybe use that as a piece of scatter terrain. And it looks like it's the same with the tree trunk as well. It has got a connection point, but obviously, you know, if you cut that off, you could use that. It probably means that the boat is probably better to use as the terrain piece rather than the branch, because it has got like a very flat edge here, although I am looking. There's your connection point on the boat just there. You could probably file that away and get away with it. Not so easy on the trunk. So if you are going to use one, I'd probably suggest use the trunk on the base and then use the boat as your scatter terrain. Anyway, we've got a wing here. Now that's quite detailed. A lot of the scales on this one. So yeah, it's probably more. I mean, this is one of the newer sculpts, I believe. I've done a lot of the older dragons, so this is one of the newer ones. I can't see a date on the base, on the box, sorry. No, I can't see any sort of date on the box, so we're just going to assume, I think this is one of the new ones. Oh, 2003, there we go. After looking on the box, didn't need to, it was all on the sprue for me. But yeah, that's your first sprue. Just oh, there's another part here that I missed. That'll be the end section for the boat or something like that. So yeah, there's that one there. Anyway, for the main part, we have this sprue. So the other wing is much smaller. That's the one that's obviously kind of curled up a little bit. Nice big chunky tail with some sort of horns or spikes on the end there. The head is just here. This is one half of it. Quite delicate, quite small. And then we've got the sort of pirate guy here. And that's in two pieces. There's the second piece just here. And then we've got sort of the main body. Two pieces of the main body, and that comes out to be its tongue struck, whatever that is. And then we've got the couple of arms, or a couple of legs. They'll be what the wyverns don't have arms, they have wings instead. Yeah, so those are the sprues. That was pretty straightforward, nothing too much to it. It doesn't look like there's any sort of real small parts, but I'm going to get this built up, and then we'll compare it to some of the other dragons in the range. Obviously, Wyvern is probably going to be smaller anyway, but I'm just a little bit unsure why the base is so big, but the dragon itself is much smaller. Anyway, let me get it together and we'll do some comparisons. So here she is, all made up, and she isn't glued onto the base. I've left it in two parts to do the base and the dragon separately. I normally do that, and I normally do the slap chop technique on all the Dungeons and Lasers stuff. But size comparison, I've got a few things. So we've got Archon, the old Archon model, and the Bloodthirster model there in the background. We've got a Carnosaur just there for bringing one of me Agridon riders. So I'll give you an idea as well. Here's the Ogre from the Deceptive Encounters range. Sorry. My alien dragon, xenomorph dragon, fell down. I've brought that in to compare as well. It's a really, really weird model in the sense that it doesn't stand on its base very well. It tips very easily, so you just have to touch it. I have put a coin on the bottom, but even that's not quite enough to make it stand up properly. Anyway, I've got Thos as well. So if I get Archon out the way, you just stand over there for a second, Archon. And I'll bring Thos in. Not that dissimilar size-wise. So that's a young dragon and the wyvern next to each other. But there we go. Alright, so I will be painting her up. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe so you can catch the painting video. But I'm just going to go now and go and give her an undercoat, and we'll paint her up in a different video, but I'll do the prep work today. Alright, so there you go. There's little Isabella and cast iron vampires on the end there as well, if you want to compare. Hopefully I shall catch you in the next one.